you have the Vikings using their first-round pick on Hendon Hooker. What gives you the sense that the Vikings are going to go use a first-round pick with Kirk Cousins, obviously, at the end of his current deal, for the kid coming back from an ACL injury here? What do you think?
The buzz, I think, on Hendon Hooker is really going way up. When I was in Indy, I had lunch with a quarterback coach in the NFL, and I said, "Who really impressed you in the meetings?" And usually a lot of guys do, because that's how it's scripted. It is kind of. But he was like, loved Hendon Hooker. His demeanor was great. Not only did he have great knowledge of what they did at Tennessee, he had great knowledge of what they did at his previous place, Virginia Tech, why they called things, different things, and was just kind of wowed by him. And then when I started talking to more people about him, he was the guy who probably one of maybe 3 or 4 who you'd hear people who were just gushing about in terms of loved his pocket presence, thought he saw it well. We get it that the offense they run is very different. It is what Josh Heupel does is kind of comes from the Art Briles Baylor system. And there are some, like the routes are different. The routes aren't really even routes. It's just, half field reads. And there's a lot of stuff that I think you're gonna have to project with him. But he has played in another system. He did learn this. He not only did he learn it, Tennessee football has been in a ditch for like 15 years. Hendon Hooker was a big reason why not only they get out of it, they had a top 10 season. They beat Alabama. At one point, he was the Heisman front runner. And yes, he is coming off an ACL, but if he goes to the Vikings, you don't need him to come in and play right away. I think he can get acclimated. Kevin O'Connell, we know, is good with quarterbacks. We know the structure there should be good. There's good young receivers. I think that would be an ideal spot for him. And people I've talked to think Hendon Hooker, it wouldn't surprise them if he went above Will Levis. I mean, they like him that much and they're intrigued by him. Yes, it's going to be a projection with his offense, what he did, but he has time. He's not going to be battling for the job right away.
Right. So what's the sense of when he could be ready? Is this year a wash for him, or what are you hearing?
I think it's a wash, but I at one point somebody told me they thought, maybe by midseason he could be ready to go if need be. But I don't think you're taking him knowing, because if you're putting somebody in at that point, your season's probably, especially when you're drafting there,
yes,
you're not expecting to make win the last 5 games and then get hot and go into the playoff. I imagine you just want him to really get acclimated to what they do in the NFL and keep developing, because you think his potential is what these other coaches who've played him think. I mean, they just really were high on him.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.